Somerset County Cricket Club is one of 18 first-class county clubs within the domestic cricket structure of England and Wales. It represents the historic county of Somerset. The club's limited overs team was formerly the Somerset Sabres, but is now known only as Somerset. Somerset's early history is complicated by arguments about its status. It is generally regarded as a minor county from its foundation in 1875 until 1890, apart from the 1882 to 1885 seasons when it is considered by substantial sources to have been an unofficial first-class team. There are, however, two matches involving W.G. Grace in 1879 and 1881 which are considered first-class by some authorities. In 1891, Somerset joined the county championship, which had just become an officially recognised competition, and is unofficially first-class from 1891 to 1894. The county is classified as an official first-class team from 1895 by Marylebone Cricket Club, and the county championship clubs, classified as a List A team since the beginning of limited overs cricket in 1963, and classified as a major 2020 team since 2003. Somerset have never won the county championship, the highest finish being second, which they achieved in 2001, 2010 and 2012. The club won the first silverware in the late 1970s, winning both the Gillette Cup and John Player League in 1979. In the years since, Somerset have experienced some success in one-day cricket, winning the Gillette Cup on two further occasions, the Benson and Amp Hedges Cup twice and the John Player League once more. The team has reached the final of the 2020 Cup competition on 4 occasions, winning it in 2005. The club has its headquarters at the county ground, Taunton, where in the present day almost all of its games are played at. Since 2005, Somerset also play at Taunton Vale against MCC University's teams. Taunton Vale is also the regular home venue for the second she team. The club have played at a number of other grounds in the past, with a significant number of matches at Clarence Park, Weston-super-Mare and at the Recreation Ground. Bar. History. Earliest cricket in Somerset. In the 17th century, the related sport of stow ball, or stob ball, was being played in North Somerset, as in neighbouring Gloucestershire and Wiltshire, as well as parts of Dorset. This sport most likely used either the base of a tree or its remaining stump as its wicket, as both stow and stob are dialect words for stump. However, stow could also refer to a frame used to support crawling tunnels in mines such as those lead mines in North Somerset, providing another possibility for the wicket. The ball was made of a leather case, stuffed with boiled quills, and was 4 inches in diameter, roughly the same size as a modern softball, while the bats, known as staves, were shaped similarly to a field hockey stick and typically made of withy or willow. The earliest confirmed reference to cricket in Somerset is a match on the 13th of July 1751 that was played in memory of the late Frederick, Prince of Wales, who was a noted patron of the sport. The first officially organised club to be recognised in Somerset was Lansdowne Cricket Club, formed in 1825, although a Bath Cricket Club seems to have preceded it with a similar collection of enthusiasts from around 1817 to 1824. With a limited number of other organised clubs to play, fixtures were few and far apart in the founding years, with matches being played against Clifton, Sidmouth and Tame Bridge. Lansdowne placed Somerset in the cricketing world, and played a number of matches against England in various forms. In 1865, the first attempt at a county side was made with the formation of Yeovil and County Cricket Club. They performed poorly in their opening matches against local club sides, and on one occasion, even lost 3 players to their opposition the day before the match was scheduled to begin. In spite of these problems, they did play a county fixture against the Gentlemen of Devon. The match was abandoned due to rain. The first recorded occasion of a Gentleman of Somerset side playing comes 5 years previously, however, when a Somerset side travelled down to Culm Vale to take on the Gentlemen of Devon, this match also resulting in a draw. Origin of club. The formation of Somerset County Cricket Club was decided in 1875 after the playing of one such match between the Gentlemen of Somerset and the Gentlemen of Devon at Sidmouth in Devon. Having played a 2-day match, which the Somerset team won by 8 wickets, the Gentlemen of Somerset and the Friends held a meeting and resolved the Somerset should have its own county cricket club. Somerset is the only one of the present first-class counties in English cricket whose county cricket club was founded outside the boundaries of the traditional county. After the resolution, the gentlemen continued playing games under the name Gentlemen of Somerset, but the fixtures became more regular, rather than occasional games against the Gentlemen of Devon. They played host to teams from Dorset and Devon in 1876, and in 1877 visited Dorset, Worcestershire, Warwickshire and Wiltshire in addition to the trip to Devon. The following 1878 season, 2 matches were played by a Somerset team. A 2-day match against Hertfordshire played at St Albans finished in a draw, while Worcestershire were beaten by an innings and 47 runs later in the month at Bath. In 1879, Somerset played 9 matches, albeit one of them against a Wells team. During these early seasons, Somerset were never far from insolvency. An initial letter sent out after the formation of the club had only managed to raise £70.17, while gate receipts in the first season raised the club £1.15 AD. Despite this, fixtures continued to be arranged, and the amateurs kept on playing, bringing their own kit and paying for their own tickets for travel to away matches. There are alternative versions of when Somerset's first-class match took place, and matches in 1879 and 1881 are central to the statistics of W.G. Grace. See the article on variations in first-class cricket statistics. If those games are discounted, then Somerset CCC played its initial first-class match against Lancashire CCC at Old Trafford on 8, 9 and 10 June 1882 and joined the county championship. This first-class status lasted for only 4 seasons. After the 1885 season, Somerset failed to arrange sufficient fixtures with the other first-class teams to be accorded first-class status. In 1890, following a successful recruitment policy at universities by the club's first full-time secretary, Henry Murray Anderton, Somerset played 13 games, including 2 against Middlesex, winning 12 of them and tying the other against Middlesex, furthering their ambition to be a first-class county. At the 3rd annual meeting of the County Cricket Council on 9 December 1889, the counties decided to create a subcommittee to consider whether an official classification of the counties should exist and how counties might rise from one class to another. Somerset was one of the 6 counties represented on the committee. The committee met on the 11th of August 1890 and proposed 3 classes of counties. The existing 8 first-class counties would remain, with Somerset one of 8 second-class counties proposed. A system of promotion and relegation was suggested. These proposals was debated at the 4th annual meeting of the County Cricket Council on the 8th of December 1890. They were not well received. Eventually a vote was taken on whether the County Cricket Council itself should be suspended, signed aye. The motion was passed on the casting vote of the chairman, and the County Cricket Council effectively ceased to exist. This utterly unexpected result fairly took those present by surprise, and they dispersed hurriedly, a most undignified ending to what we are compelled to describe as a most unbusiness businesslike meeting. Mr. H. T. Hewitt and Mr. T. Spencer were present for Somerset. On the following day, the 9th of December 1890, the county secretaries met to decide the fixtures for 1891, which they did on the usual basis of arranging home-and-home matches against whichever counties they wished. The most noticeable feature is the encouragement given to Somersetshire by the chief county clubs. Middlesex played the Westernshire last summer, but Kent, Surrey, Yorkshire, Gloucestershire and Lancashire will next summer test the merits of the 11, which showed such good all-round cricket under Mr. H. T. Hewitt's command last year. By arranging these 12 matches against first-class counties, Somerset became a de facto first-class county without any proposal or vote to that effect. Hewitt, Spencer and Mr. W. N. Rowe were present for Somerset. Pre-First World War in Somerset's second season, 1892, they finished third, but it was to be 66 years before they finished as high again. Until the Great Depression, the team regularly comprised a number of more or less talented amateurs and just a handful of professionals. They enjoyed over many decades a reputation for cheerful inconsistency, highlighted by 3 wins over an all-conquering Yorkshire side in 1901 and 1902, when they did not lose to any other county. Famous names from the pre-First World War period included the England players Sammy Woods, Lionel Pollariat and Len Braund. The fast bowler Tom Richardson also played for the county once after his retirement from Surrey. In 1908, Woods persuaded the England Rugby Union international John Daniell to become captain with the team struggling financially, and Daniell stayed, mostly playing as captain and often acting as secretary too, for almost 20 years. However, in the immediate period before World War I, with the loss of the key amateurs who promoted the club to first-class status and financial difficulties forcing the club to disengage most of its few professionals, Somerset finished last 4 times in 6 years and lost 15 and drew 3 of 18 games in 1910. Between the wars, in the first season of the county championship after the First World War 1919, Somerset finished 5th in the table, the highest since 1892. But that was the highest position in the interwar years, and mostly the side finished at below halfway down the table, though there were no more bottom places in this period. The team continued to be a mix of a few highly talented amateurs and a few good professionals, with the side often made up with amateur players who appeared in only a few games. Among the amateurs, the West Somerset farmer Jack White, who succeeded Daniell as captain in 1927, played for England as an off-spinning all-rounder and also captained the Test side in Australia in 1928-29. The briefest Test match career of them all was enjoyed by another amateur, Jack McBrien, whose only game for England was the rain-ruined match against the South Africans in 1924, in which he neither batted nor bowled. Of the professionals, fleeting international careers were enjoyed by the hard-hitting batsman Harold Gimblett, whose entry into first-class cricket was the stuff of legends, and by Arthur Wellard, fast bowler and a mighty smiter of sixes. Post-Second World War, in post-war cricket, the happy-go-lucky Somerset attitude was no longer sustainable, and the side finished bottom of the championship for 4 consecutive seasons from 1952. With the strong possibility of going out of business, drastic change was inevitable. Somerset recruited heavily from other countries, taking Colin McCool and Bill Alley from Australia and from other counties. In 1958, under the captaincy of the first professional cricketer to captain the team, Maurice Tremlett, the side again finished third, and this was repeated in 1963 and 1966 under different captains. Collins, Harold Stevenson and Colin Atkinson, who later became headmaster at Millfield School. There was a further dip in fortunes towards the end of the 1960s, but, though county championship success continued to elude the county, Somerset finally found in the 1970s the makings of a successful one-day team under the combative, inspirational captaincy of Yorkshireman Brian Close. A trio of world-class players, Viv Richards, Joel Big Bird Garner and the England all-rounder Ian both made the team for the first time in its long history a formidable trophy-winning proposition. The real success came after Close had retired. Under the captaincy of left-handed opener Brian Rose, Somerset won the first ever silverware by taking the Gillette Cup and the Sunday League in 1979. In the same 1979 season, Somerset's newfound ruthless streak provoked controversy in the Benson and Amp Hedges Cup Limited Dovers competition when Rose declared the Somerset innings closed in the match against Worcestershire, in an attempt to safeguard passage through to the quarter-final on run rate. The county was subsequently disqualified from the competition at a special meeting of the Test and County Cricket Board. Rose also captained the side to the Benson and Amp Hedges Cup in 1981 and 1982, and the renamed NatWest Trophy in 1983. Controversy returned to Somerset in the mid-1980s, with the successful side aging. New captain Peter Roebuck led the move to make changes, and the overseas stars Viv Richards and Joel Garner were sacked, replaced by the New Zealander Martin Crowe. Ian Botham resigned from Somerset in protest and moved to Worcestershire. Recent years' success has been elusive in recent years, although New Zealand-born Andy Caddick and opener Marcus Trescothick have proved major pillars of the England Test team, and overseas stars such as Jamie Cox have given sterling service for the club, resulting in their appearance in the NatWest Trophy in 1999 and the C-in Amp G Trophy final in 2001 and 2002, winning in 2001 over Leicestershire. In 2001, the team finished second in the First Division of the County Championship, its highest ever placing. But true to its contrary traditions, the county was relegated to the Second Division at the end of the following season. Under the guidance of Director of Cricket Brian Rose, the team has adopted a youth policy, which Rose accepts will lead to a succession of good and bad results in the short term. To balance the youth policy, for 2 seasons the club was led by high-profile overseas stars Ricky Ponting and Graham Smith to enable coaching of the young group of players. In July 2005, as perhaps a portent of better times to come, the county was the surprise winner of the third 2020 Cup, beating Lancashire in the final at the Oval. The 2006 season was up and down in results, but in June 2006 Rose announced the signing for 6 weeks of the Australian cricket team opening batsman Justin Langer, while countryman Dan Cullen was on duty with Australia A. Langer responded by hitting the highest score in the county's first-class history, but without him the team struggled in both short and long versions of the game, failed to repeat the 2020 success and languished at near the bottom of both county championship and Pro 42nd Division tables. In 2007 Langer, having returned to the team, was named captain. Cameron White was the other overseas player. Somerset's season began brightly, including a county record 857th declared against Middlesex in the first championship match. But a few weeks later Somerset were on the wrong end of a huge total when they conceded 801/8 declared to Derbyshire. However, they recovered well from this setback and achieved promotion, returning to Division 1 of the Championship for the first time since 2002. After beating Essex at Chelmsford with 5 sessions to spare. They were also promoted to Division 1 of the Pro 40 League. While 2008 was an improved season, 2009 brought marginally less success. Langer announced his retirement from all forms of cricket at the end of the 2009 season, making the 2009 Champions League 2020 in India his last competitive competition for the club. On the departure of Justin Langer, Marcus Trescothick was named as club captain for the 2010 season. It was a memorable season for Somerset, although somewhat bittersweet. In one of the most successful seasons in the club's history, Somerset finished as runners-up in all major domestic competitions. In the county championship, they finished second to Nottinghamshire, while level on points at the close of play on the last day of the season. Nottinghamshire lifted the title by virtue of more wins during the year. They were then beaten by Warwickshire in the Clydesdale Bank 40 final. Finally, the club went down to Hampshire in the Friends Provident T20 final, after failing to effect a run-out from the last ball that would have secured them the title. In the 2011 season, Somerset again performed well in all three domestic competitions, finishing fourth in the county championship, and runners-up again in the 2020 competition to Leicestershire and also in the CB40 final to Surrey. Taunton-born keeper-batsman Josh Butler secured a call-up for England for 2020's cricket, by virtue of finishing runners-up in the domestic 2020 competition. Somerset qualified for the T20 Champions League competition in India, featuring many of the world's best 2020 teams. Roelof van der Merwe returned as their overseas player for this competition. Somerset performed exceptionally well, progressing from the preliminary round to the semi-final, where they lost to the Mumbai Indians, in the process picking up considerable prize money. During the 2012 season, Somerset were ravaged by injuries to the extent that on 2 occasions the county were reduced to the last 11 available players, with members of the coaching and support staff having to fill in as 12th men. Despite this, it was another successful season, with Somerset again finishing runners-up in the championship, though they finished 24 points behind the winners, only losing one match all year. Nick Compton carried a batting lineup that at times missed key players such as Trescothick and Craig Kieswetter due to injury, averaging an incredible 99.25. In one-day competitions, Somerset couldn't quite make up for a poor start in the CB40, losing the first 4 games, before winning the next 6 completed matches and narrowly missing out on the semi-finals. In the reformatted T20, Somerset topped their group and won the home quarter-final against Essex to send them on another trip to finals day, only to fall short to Hampshire in the semi-final. In 2013, Somerset took a backward step in the championship, as the batting lineup largely struggled. A late win over Surrey in September, the side's first and only championship win at Taunton all year, basically assured them of safety, and Somerset ended up in 6th place. Somerset found much better success in the one-day formats, topping the group in the YB40, winning 8 out of the 12 games, only to be bowled out for just 119 in the semi-final and lose by 8 wickets. Peter Trago was the tournament's leading run scorer with 745, including 200s and 550s in 12 innings. The now familiar pattern of success in the group stages and disappointment in the latter stages was repeated in the T20, as Somerset were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Surrey. Before the season, Brian Rose's tenure as Director of Cricket ended and he was replaced by David Nosworthy. Somerset had an indifferent 2014, as they failed to make much headway in the championship and, for the first time since 2007, weren't able to make the knockout stages of either one-day competition. Somerset again placed 6th in the championship, although they were in no danger of relegation, unlike the previous previous season. The beginning of the season had seen the departure of crowd favourite Butler to Lancashire, and towards the end was marred by what turned out to be a career-ending eye injury to Kye. Before the start of the 2015 season, plenty of changes took place at the club. Matthew Maynard stepped into the role of Director of Cricket after the club parted ways with Nosworthy. With the loss of Kye, Somerset also lost another senior batsman in Compton as he moved back to London. Alphonso Thomas became captain in one-day competitions, with Trescothick remaining as club and first-class captain. Somerset also made some new signings, including Chris Gale for the start of the T20 Blast. For the most part, the season followed much the same path as the last, with Somerset failing to reach the latter stages of either limited overs competition and battling for the lower places in the championship. Despite Gale providing 328 runs in his 3 innings with the club, Somerset languished second from bottom in the T20 Blast. With Thomas sent out on loan, new signing Jim Allenby took over the captaincy for the One-Day Cup, and despite winning the last 3 matches, Somerset missed out on a quarter-final spot. In the championship, Somerset looked to be in relegation trouble for much of the season, but led by a late run of form from Trescothick and thanks to a maximum points victory in the final game, Somerset avoided the drop by a margin of 22 points and finished 6th in Division 1 for the 3rd consecutive year. James Hildreth was the leading championship run scorer in Division 1. Ground history. Players. Current squad. No denotes the player's squad number, as worn on the back of the shirt. Denotes players with international caps. Asterisk denotes a player who has been awarded a county cap. Former players. Captains. Club officials. Committee President Richard Parsons. Chairman Andy Nash. Vice Chairman David Gabatas. Honorary Treasurer Alex Tetley. Chief Executive Guy Lavender. Co-opted Nick Engett, Vic Marks, Charles Clark. Coaching Staff Director of Cricket Matthew Maynard. Assistant Coach and Bowling Coach Jason Kerr. Second She Coach and Academy Director Steve Snell. Administration and Coaching History. President. Those who have held the office of Somerset President are Honours. First, She Honours Sunday, Pro 40, National League 1 1979. Gillette NatWest, CN G, Friends Provident Trophy 3 1979, 1983, 2001, 2020 Cup 1 2005. Benson and Amp, Hedges Cup 2 1981, 1982. Second She Honours Second She Championship 2 1994, 2004. Minor Counties Championship 2 1961, 1965. Records. For more details on this topic, see List of Somerset first-class cricket records, List of Somerset List A cricket records, List of Somerset 2020 cricket records. Bibliography. Foote, David. Sunshine, Sixes Insider. The History of Somerset Cricket. David and Amp, Charles. ISBN 0-7153-88908. Swanton, E.W. Barclays World of Cricket. Book Club Associates. ISBN 000218193-2. Terry, David. The 17th Century Game of Cricket. A Reconstruction of the Game. The Sports Historian. The British Society of Sports History. 2033-43. Retrieved 4 December 2009.